Manu, thanks so much for the reporting. Joining me now is CNN political commentator and Trump supporter Scotty Nell Hughes, and CNN political commentator and former New York City Council Speaker Christine Quinn. Ladies, great to have you.
Thank you.
My first question, here's the rule. You may not utter your opponent's name.
Oh.
Okay, this is my first, just for the first question.
Okay.
Okay, what, Christine, does your candidate, Hillary Clinton, basically in a couple of sentences, need to do tonight?
Secretary Clinton needs to continue to send the message she sent, that she is strong, the most fit to be president of the United States, has a vision that really is going to help all Americans.
Does she need to spell out that vision? That's been a big question, that she hasn't articulated necessarily her vision other than in contrast to her opponent.
Well, I think she has. If you particularly look at all of the position papers out there, if you look at her tax plan, which unlike another person in the race actually helps middle-class Americans, doesn't reduce taxes on billionaires. I think she has. Now, look, this has been a hard race for both candidates, for issues to rise above the din, if you will. And I think tonight is a perfect opportunity for Hillary to kind of put a punctuation mark on the end of this campaign and really make it clear she is the person who's going to lead this country, particularly working class and middle class Americans, to a place of tax relief, job creation, and a really strong future.
Scotty, what does Donald Trump need to do tonight?
Donald Trump needs to continue to separate himself from the establishment, the political establishment, as well as to show about what is so corrupt about Washington, D.C., which is a feeling the majority of Americans on both sides of the aisle feel like. He needs to show out why he is an outsider and that he is a voice of the people. I think that's why you saw him yesterday release his plan, talking about how he was going to do reforms, including term limits, a suggestion that resonates with Republicans, Democrats, and Libertarians. Reduce the size of government, show the corruption, something that his opponent represents, which is her background, all of her experience is all Washington, D.C. political experience, and how that system is broken and why why he's opposite.
This is so hard for you guys not to talk about your opponents. You snuck it in. You snuck it in. But okay, let's talk about one of the things that may come up, and this is a controversy that would affect Hillary Clinton. These new sting videos that have been released by James O'Keefe's outfit that purport to show Democratic operatives trying to incite violence at Donald Trump rallies. If people haven't seen them, let me play a portion of Scott Fovel revealing Trump rally tactics for you.
I mean, honestly, it is not hard to get some of these assholes to pop off.
Right.
It's a matter of showing up to want to get into the rally in a Planned Parenthood t-shirt. Or, you know, Trump is a Nazi. You know, you can message to draw them out and draw them to punch you.
Okay, Christine, if you can believe what this man is saying here, this Democratic operative, he is sending people to Trump rallies, Democrats, in to try to get them to, quote, pop off and punch them to show the violence. I mean, how's Hillary Clinton going to address this one?
Well, I don't grant any validity to this video at all.
Even though you hear him in his own words saying this. I mean, how could they be fudging this?
You know, we've seen many different tapes recently in history over the past few years or so be put together, really focused on attacking progressive groups like Planned Parenthood. And then we found out afterwards that those tapes were cut and spliced and put together in a way that they show something totally different than what happened. I have no doubt in my mind that no one associated with the Democratic Party or with Hillary Clinton's campaign would ever do something like that. It is absurd. And look,
Wait. You don't think that the DNC worked with this outside Robert Kramer group to try to stage counter-protests?
Counter-protests outside?
Yes, counter-protests. That's what he says he was tasked with doing.
I'm sure that happened, and I'm sure the RNC or the Trump organization set up counter-protests outside Hillary events. Protesting is completely different.
You're saying nobody tried to provoke Trump supporters to violence?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely. It would never happen in Hillary's Clinton campaign.
Scotty, what's interesting, of course, is that you hear Christine saying, I don't believe that tape. I don't believe the words on that tape. And we've heard other people say, even if he did say those things, it never translated to action. Those are the same words, of course, that the Trump campaign has used about hearing Donald Trump's own words on tape about the alleged sexual assault of women. So how big of a role does this tape play?
So he never denied those were his words. Let's be perfectly clear.
He didn't deny, but this guy can't deny that these are his words.
Well,
You can't deny that they're the words.
But
It
also,
didn't translate to action.
Donald Trump never raised that the Billy Bush tape was cut or spliced.
No,
I do not say
that. What I said was locker room talk, and it never translated to action.
Right.
Okay?
But
And
I'm
that's
going
what this
further.
guy's saying.
I'm not even buying that this video is legit.
Okay, go ahead, Scotty. How do you see it?
And that's I don't know how you can do that because Robert Creamer is a very well-known Democrat. Most people in the Democrat circles know him. He visited the White House over 100 times. He's got strong ties. He's married to a congresswoman, for goodness sake. So he is someone that definitely is involved, had a lot of credibility up until these videos were released.
But that's not
These
who
were
you hear in the video. The
undercover
person that
tapes.
we just heard in the video, just to correct, just so that everybody knows, that's Scott Fogle, who's a subcontractor, saying what he plans to do. Robert Creamer is only saying that he's staging these counter protests. Go ahead, Scotty.
But he also, obviously, at this point, they've severed all ties. Both have had to basically either resign or be fired. So, you know, if there was no wrongdoing, then they should be standing up for themselves. But the point about all of this, and this is the difference, is there was action that were taken. We did see people, the rally in Chicago shut down. People were not able to go in. We saw assault on Trump supporters. There are so many specifics that are laid out here that there are actions that match up with these men's words. And this is very sad. I think this is one of the darkest, deepest skeletons within the Democratic Party that have come out, just like the WikiLeaks. Might not like how we found out the secrets. We found them out. That doesn't mean that they're not legit. And people have lost their jobs and had to resign because of it. The same thing right here. So I don't know how you can just say, you know what, it's wrong. I'm sorry. We shouldn't have done it. And move on. At least apologize for it. Hold it and, you know, take accountability for it.
Let me just say something. Let's be clear here. Scotty is talking on behalf of the Trump campaign and the Mr. Trump, the candidate.
Yeah.
Let's not forget, this is a man who, at his rallies, we saw people sucker punch senior citizens.
And we
saw Donald Trump say he would.
Well,
do
hold on.
it.
Scotty, you can't. That's not fair.
That's not
Donald
fair.
Trump did say, "Hey, you should punch that guy. Anybody who's protesting, you should punch him in the mouth. They should be taken out on a stretcher." He also
and I'll pay
used
for
very
their lawyers.
inflammatory rhetoric.
Because
Scotty,
and now it backs up that we knew that this was a planned attack.
No.
This
Does
is
it,
now
Scotty?
showing
Still, the
that the
rhetoric
Democrats went in there to
doesn't
cause
follow.
this case. That was their goal,
That-
which is
and
insulting to the American people.
But based on what you're now saying, connecting 2 and 2 and making 6, which doesn't make any sense, you then were correct and needed to sucker punch a senior citizen. That does not add up. And I've been involved in a lot of Democratic campaigns.
The COPD person was a plant.
That is,
But so why would hold on, Kristen. Why would the presidential candidate say punch the plant in the face? I mean, that still does take it to a different level.
Because he's a bully.
We now find out that they were trained to, and they were encouraged. In fact, they were encouraged. They were going to do everything they can to instigate. The very first sign of violence that we saw, it was the fact the man was cursing, was spitting on people, was throwing out racial slurs.
But Scotty, that's why we have security guards who take people out. That's the response to that, and that Donald Trump said, punch him. Shows exactly why he can't be president of the United States. What is he going to say when an international leader makes him annoyed?
Okay. Christine, Scotty, chances are this will come up tonight, and we are going to leave it for the debate. Ladies, thank you very much for this debate here. Stay with CNN for live coverage of tonight's debate. It begins at 4 p.m. Eastern. You can be sure